Hey everybody. Yesterday, and you've probably seen this in my video, my Amazon.com package opening, I received a new PS2 game for the first time in a while. I actually purchased it for only $1.56. It was part of the warehouse deals at Amazon. And it's right here. This is right here. NCAA Football '08. Which actually is one of the most, I went online, believe it or not, and this is one of the most talked about games they have. One of the most talked about NCAA games out there. And it's kind of understanding as to why it would be. I mean, it's got the features you want. You can go online with it if you have the CD and you have the account. All sorts of good stuff. But here's the problem, though. As soon as this game, and more importantly the later games I should say, as soon as they also started to reach the Xbox 360s and the PS3s, something happened. Something happened. I don't know what year it was or which version it was. I don't know if it was this version. I don't know if it was the '09 that followed, or 10 or 11. I think it was 11 because that's the one I had on my memory card, the latest. And the truth is, the truth is, with the 360 and PS3 versions, something happened. Something happened that, up until last year, apparently, from what I understand, with 12, you could only get this feature on the PS2. And maybe the Wii or something like that, I'm not sure, but mostly the PS2. And what was that happened? Well, what happened a few years ago was they introduced what was known as Team Builder on the EA Sports website. Now, I can totally understand why they did this. I can totally understand why EA did this. They want to allow people to create their teams the way they want to create them. They want to allow them to have their own pictures on there. And I totally get that too. But here's the problem. Not many people can figure that out. I tried to figure it out one time when I got the 360 version. When I rented the 360 version, I think of 11 or 10, I believe. And I couldn't figure it out. It's like for some reason it wasn't working. I mean, I had it all set up. I created the game, but it would not load so I could go on to my 360, which I did, to try to find it. I couldn't find it. It wasn't there. Nothing was working. Now, I don't know if they've improved over the years or not, but apparently not many people are happy with this feature. Heck, some people would rather be playing, from what I understand, the PS2 versions, well, the latest being last year being the PS2 version, the last PS2 version, I should say, was about a year or so ago, of NCAA football than the PS3 and the Xbox 360. They'd rather be playing those versions instead of that. I mean, they would rather be playing these versions instead of that one, instead of those. And again, I can understand. I can go back to what I said. I can understand why EA did it. They want to allow people to have their own custom-made teams. They don't want. They're pretty much saying, hey, you don't have to depend on using our makeshift logos or other college logos or just going blank and all that just to create a team. You can actually use your own stuff. You can actually use, let's say, let me try to find something here. Here we go. You can actually try to use, like, say, an apple, if you will, for the logo. You can actually use this picture right here for the logo. And I get that, but the thing is, you'd have to scan it or you have to download it. The problem is, people do that, but, again, the problem is trying to upload it. The problem is not trying to create the team. That's far from it. The problem is trying to upload it so you can get it. I mean, I used my computer, I used the computer in there, I could not get anything. For some odd reason. I couldn't. Now again, I don't know what the problem was or what it could be. I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you're going to release current gen console versions of this game, of games like this, of the NCAA football series, keep it the way it was on the last gen consoles, like the PS2 and the GameCube and the Xbox. Keep it the way it was. You know, keep the features of, let's say, create a team in there without people having to depend on going online to a website just to create a team. Keep it in there. Keep things the way they were. You know what I'm saying? Keep things the way they were. And you know what? If you want them to use something on Team Builder, here's what you do. You allow them to put the logo or whatever they're going to use on there so that they can go online, get the logo, and just place it on the thing on the 360. Don't have them depending on something like that, because in times it won't work. Now, I admit it has probably worked for a lot of people because it allows them to create their own personal teams, but a lot of people have shown frustration with it because of not just the fact that it may or may not be that what it should be, but also due to the fact, ladies and gentlemen, also due to the fact that now you have to pay. According to what I read online, you can only get maybe 10 to maybe 12 free, maybe 10 free slots or something, 12 free slots, which is okay because on average, when you take a look at this game, 12 teams is the average you can create. And that's cool, I understand it. You get your 10 to 12 free slots, but from what I've heard, it's kind of gotten a little lesser than that now. Sometimes you can only get, according to some people, you can only get at times 5 to 6 free slots, and then you got to pay for the rest of it. You got to have an online pass just to get the free slots, and then pay for the rest of it. Or something, or like you got to have an online pass to get all these unlimited slots, or something. And that is what ticks a lot of people off. It's like, well, why should we pay for something you shouldn't even decided to put on the website in the first place? That's stupid. And I guarantee you, you look at sales of the PS2 versions of the NCAA football series, or video game series, and I guarantee you, even up to the probably to the last one, which I think was 11, I believe. You go up to that version, 11, I think it was 11, maybe 12, I'm not really sure. But you go up to that last version, and I guarantee you, those that own a PS2 bought this version probably more than they did, probably just a bit more. Probably purchased that version probably a bit more than they did the PS3 and the 360 versions, all because they don't have to go online or go on a computer and create a team. They can just create the team right here. Again, though, I understand completely why they did it. I totally understand that, but the problem is not many people are going to want to sit down at that computer, spend time creating a team, and then try to go on to the game console, which is the PS3 or the Xbox 360, and try to go on and try to play the game, go on the website there through the game, or go online through the game to try to get their team, and it not be there. You see what I'm saying? Now, the point I'm trying to make, like I mentioned briefly, is if you're going to do something like this, if you're going to take it to the next level, take it to the current gen consoles and maybe even the next gen consoles in the next few years, it's real simple. Keep the features the way they were. That's all you have to do. Keep the features the way they were. True, it may not be, as enhanced and as, personal. It may not be as enhanced as what you're trying to make it, and it may not make, created teams as personal as as you want them to be. But you know what? This is better than nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's better to have it the way it was than to frustrate people with having them to go online, having them go online on a website website, create it, and chance the fact that they can't find it. Now, I'm not saying that hasn't happened to everybody, but I'm just saying there are those whom I can understand, I'm sure people would agree with me on this video, that would rather prefer doing it right off the game cartridge, right off the game disc, than having to go online and deal with it there. I mean, if you're going to do it online, you might as well just start deciding to say, hey, let's put the NCAA football season or football games straight on the console, straight on the demand sections of the consoles and be done with it. You might as well do that. Again, I totally understand and respect the fact that you want to make things more personal and more, like your own kind of curation deal for the consumer, for the people that buy the game. I understand that, but what you got to understand is sometimes it's better not to do it. In other words, to quote an old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, if you could keep the created team on the Madden games, from what I understand, if you can keep the created teams on the Madden series, then why not on the NCAA series? I don't get that. If you could keep the created team option on the Madden games, and along with possibly doing a team builder, then why can't you do it for the NCAA games? I don't understand that. Whoever is in charge of the NCAA football games, they need to get some of the people from Madden over to their section and say, you know what? We need your help. Can you help us do it the way you guys got it on that game? Or at least have those people off the Madden team, come over and say, you know what? You guys are doing it wrong. Or kind of teach them how to do it. In other words, show them that, hey, you don't have to have people go on the computer and create the team as long as you allow them to have more options on the game itself, on the disc itself. That, to me, is why, in my honest opinion, and sorry for the bird in the background, but that, to me, in my honest opinion, is why the PS2 versions and even that, to me, is why the PS2 versions, the GameCube versions, and even the original Xbox versions of these games, and most importantly the PS2 versions, sell out probably just a bit more in sales, have better sales, have probably just a bit more better sales figures than the current ones, than the current gen console versions, because they don't have people go on the computer and try to create their team there. They allow them to do it right off the game. So, to me, if you're going to do this, keep things the way they were. Again, I totally understand why you would want to allow people to do it online. Heck, I was even looking forward to it until it frustrated me to the point that I'm like, you know what, screw this. I'd rather just go back to the way it was. It was easier. And it is. So, tell me what you guys think. Do you agree with what I said? Any points? Do you agree? Video response if you like. I'd like to hear this from you. Alpha Omega Sin, I'd like to hear a video response from you. Anybody else? Let me know down below. And I will talk to you all later. God bless. Take care.